Founders Academy is a 3-part learning journey designed around the real stages of company building. Lesson 3. Creating your problem thesis and problem statement. Communicating the problem. The shorter, the better. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to communicate your problem thesis to yourself, your prospective team, and your potential customers. This is not an elevator pitch. This is a 2-sentence summary that enables people to understand the problem you are solving, not the solution you are creating. These are 2 very different statements, and your product is not yet created, and you should have no attachment to what that actually will look like, only to the problem you are setting out to address. Why short problem statements matter. Your ability to summarize and relay the problem you are solving in 2 sentences is paramount to your success. It illustrates that you not only understand the problem, but that you are able to summarize it and articulate it in a clear and concise manner. If you are unable to articulate it so clearly, then you will be unable to build a solution. A long-winded explanation is the result of a founder who has not yet identified the crux of the problem and is still trying to figure out which part of the customer's pain point needs to be solved, and if there even is a real problem to be solved. This lesson is about being able to define the problem thesis and the problem statement clearly and succinctly and provide the focus needed to proceed. The founder mindset shift here is that the shorter the problem statement, the clearer your mind is. As a founder, your job is to provide clarity. Identify the 80% of the problem that is noise and focus on the 20% that matters. Clarity will bring you focus and will shortcut the journey to ultimately building a product that matters. The first framework we will discuss, the 3 types of scalable problems. Which one are you solving? Successful companies almost always solve one of 3 problem types. One is a workflow pain, where clear processes are slow, broken, or inefficient. 2 is identity pain, where people feel behind, excluded, or inadequate. And 3 is a money or time leakage pain, where inefficiency directly burns cash. If a problem does not clearly fall into one of these categories, it is unlikely to support a venture scale outcome. Which one are you tackling? The second framework here helps create your problem thesis. Again, not your problem statement. Now that you have identified which type of problem is being solved, this can be combined with the exercise from the last lesson and turned into a problem thesis. The problem thesis defines 1, the group experiencing the pain, 2, the moment where the pain is felt most strongly, 3, how often it occurs, 4, how people are currently coping with it, and 5, where the opportunity to improve exists. This becomes the foundation of your pitch, your product narrative, and your strategic focus. Write down this information. Make it into bullet points or a 1-statement answer. The shorter, the better. Remember to focus on the problem, not the solution. The third framework is creating your problem statement. Now, use your problem thesis as guidelines for your problem statement. Use this information and distill what is important. Which of these words are not relevant to the real problem you are trying to solve? My advice is always to combine these into a few sentences and aim to half the number of words you first wrote down. Then, half the number of words again. This is exactly how strong founder brands and strong companies are built. Here is an example of a strong problem thesis in EdTech. Education has been digitized, not redesigned, leaving learners, parents, and institutions navigating fragmented tools, outdated incentives, and outcomes that don't match real-world needs. This is a problem statement that is difficult to disagree with. It leaves me wanting to know more, learn more, and discover what this founder will do to solve this problem. A problem statement is rarely arguable. If the first lesson gave you the mindset, this lesson gives you the target. You should now feel clearer, calmer, more selective, and more evidence-driven. This is the point where real founders begin to separate themselves from hobbyists. In the next lesson, we will move from problem to solution, and talk about how to design a product that actually earns the right to exist and solve the problem you have defined.